Welcome to 805 Focus. I'm Dr. Cinder Sinclair with Nonprofit Connect, and we will be bringing you the latest on your favorite nonprofits. So get ready to be inspired. Our special guest today is Joanne Mermis, and Joanne is a volunteer with a fascinating program called Freedom to Choose. Thank you so much for being with us, Joanne.
Thank you for having me.
Gosh, I'm just really eager to hear all about your program. I've read a little bit about it. I've been so impressed because you actually go into prisons, and you, as a volunteer, you go into prisons and you help prepare the inmates for the day that they'll be released so that they can have a productive and peaceful life on the outside. Is that right?
That's right.
So tell us about
All
that.
right. Well, it is my passion of my heart. I love going to prison. Who knew that I'd have so much fun going to prison?
Yes.
So I've been doing this work for 20 years.
Golly.
Yes, we started out in 2004. We thought we'd go one time because this inmate named Rhonda Leland, incarcerated woman out of Madera County in one of our state prisons, wrote a letter to the University of Santa Monica, where I got a master's degree in spiritual psychology, and asked if we couldn't come out and give them a seminar on emotional intelligence. So my hand went up right away because, well, I'd never been in a prison before. I never, especially a high security prison. I didn't know anybody who'd been incarcerated, but I was curious about how we are rehabilitating people. So I wanted to go to prison. So we went out 2004. It was March of 2004. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary. And we gave them this 2-day seminar. We thought it'd be a one-time gig, and then that would be it. But, oh, no. They liked us so much. There were only about 25 of us then, with about 70 prisoners. Today we sit with around 200 to maybe even 300. And about 60 to 70 of us volunteers go and give them this seminar in emotional intelligence. And what we teach them things that we all need as life skills. You and I need these too.
Okay.
So that's why I have so much fun when I go to prison, because I get to practice my skills and then it reinforces my behavior.
So here's something I just noticed from listening to you. So here you are. Now, I know you as a realtor.
Yes.
So here you are, you're a realtor. You're taking a class, your master's in spiritual psychology, and you hear, oh, there's a need for volunteers to go into the prison and teach them basically what you're learning in school. Who wants to volunteer? Your hand goes up.
Yes.
I'm so impressed with that. Okay, keep going. I
Yes.
just think that's commendable.
Well, listen, I get as much or more out of it that maybe even they do. Every time I go, I just feel like I up the level of my enjoyment of life because of what I learned there. And then I've always said that that's the one thing I can do for world peace. You know, if we all have a peaceful heart and we live peaceful, productive lives, isn't that what everybody wants in this world?
You are so right, especially when you think about a statistic I actually read on your website saying that 95% of those that are in prison will eventually get out. And so if we want to have a peaceful world, like you're saying, then we better help them
Yes.
become peaceful people.
Peaceful, tax-paying people.
Yes.
Yes, with wonderful jobs. So what we teach them are healing shame.
Healing shame.
Healing shame, yeah. Like we sit with them with non-judgment, and we model respect. And guess what? We get respect back.
Oh.
And, I mean, it's just so rewarding. Really, I'd encourage you to go and experience a weekend with us.
Oh.
All right. And the big thing we teach them is self-forgiveness. That's been a big lesson for me, too, learning how to forgive ourselves so we can forgive others.
Those are very powerful lessons.
Yes, they are.
And I heard you say something earlier about, I forget what you called it, but it's when the person we're talking to reflects what they're seeing in us.
Yes. So, if I treat you with respect,
Mm-hmm.
I get a respectful treatment in return. So we model that with when we sit in these seminars. It's very, very informational, too, because Well, Doctors David and Bonnie Paul have been the facilitators since the inception. And Dr. David Paul he's a medical doctor and also a PhD
Uh-huh.
psychologist. So he teaches us about mirroring neurons and things.
Oh, that's what it's called, mirroring
mirroring
neurons.
neurons. So, and how our brain works. There's a lot of studies now about this.
So I heard you say, so like, for example, if we're talking, you and I, and you're happy and
Right.
smiling, then I'm going to be happy and smiling. If you're angry,
Right.
then I'm going to be angry.
Right. That's kind of how that works. Yes.
Mirroring neurons.
Mirroring neurons.
Okay.
But what our work really is based upon is Viktor Frankl. I don't know if you've ever read.
Yes.
Yes. He survived the Nazi camps
Mm-hmm.
because he said they took away everything from me except the one thing they could never take. And that was my freedom to choose my attitude. That's where our
freedom to choose.
That's where
you got the name.
That's where we got the name. He teaches between stimulus and response. There's a space, and in that space, we have the freedom to choose our attitude or our response.
That is powerful.
It's powerful. Yes, and you can go on our website and see. We have 10 little tools up there now. Anyone can go and get a free seminar there. Just go on our website. We teach about the 90 second space. We do 90 seconds to think about what you're going to do. We also teach about the fight, flight, freeze response.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, your website has a lot of great information. I really enjoy
It really does, and a lot of great videos from inmates who have been released. I know we don't have all the statistics because in the beginning, we didn't keep statistics, and now we're trying to keep the statistics, and I think Forrest can talk more about that. But I believe that we've sat with upwards of 5,000 inmates to date. We're in 39 prisons with our programs. Wow. And lots of requests to go out of state, even out of country. Australia's looking at our program.
So those 39 are all in California.
Yes.
And other states are now wanting you to come there, and even
True.
Australia.
True.
I can see why.
Yes. And as far as volunteers, I mean, in the beginning, we used to have that master's degree that I had from University of Santa Monica. No more. We're training people. You can go on Zoom and get a training class and then go with us and practice the skills with the inmates. It's very rewarding. I'm telling you, it's like, I tell people it's like a vacation. Now, who would think it's a vacation to go into prison? But that's how I feel about it personally. And the volunteers fly from all over the United States. We have volunteers coming from New York and Florida and Texas and even some international too. There used to be a waiting list of volunteers. We would all pray that we'd get chosen to go.
Oh, golly.
But now, since we've expanded, we're in need of more participants, volunteers.
Okay, so you want more volunteers.
We do.
So if a person is watching or listening to this and they want to look into, anyway, being a volunteer, they can go on your website and find out how to do that.
Yes. I say this is the best self-help seminar you can take. And I've done a lot of them because you mentioned I'm a realtor. So I've done a lot of self-help seminars to try to keep myself motivated because, I'm an entrepreneur. That's how I got involved with or how I got enrolled with the spiritual psychology class. So, yes, please go on our website and look on there and see what you might want to volunteer for. There's some one-day programs. We're now in a prison in San Luis, which is close to here.
Yes.
And I believe that's a one-day. I still go to Madeira because that one's the one I started in. It's near and dear to my heart. And then we go to Chino, too, which isn't too far from here. That's near Anaheim. It's in Anaheim. I've been there 2 or 3 times.
Oh, Joanne, you are just amazing. And I so appreciate you coming on our show to share all of your good and very important work.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to spread the word. Freedom to choose.
Oh, gosh, freedom to choose. And so, Joanne, thank you so much for sharing your so inspirational story. And now we're going to have the executive director of Freedom to Choose, Forrest Leichtberg, come and share more about the program with us.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. And now we have the Executive Director of Freedom to Choose, Forrest Leichtberg. Thanks for being with us, Forrest.
Thank you, Cinder. It's such a pleasure to be here.
And so now I'm eager to hear from you because we heard from Joanne about her experiences as a volunteer. But you are the Executive Director, and so you have a different focus. So I'm sure you can, highlight some of the other aspects that you think are important for people to know about this great program.
Fantastic. I'd be happy to. Well, we were established just about 21 years ago.
Really?
I'm not sure that everybody knows that who gets involved here. I mean, that's a long time for a small organization to be doing this work, and we've done it with a tremendous amount of support of time and resources from our community of volunteers. And we have about, probably close to 800 volunteers in our pool at this point that have accumulated through the years, and a great deal of them are still with us.
Wow.
So there's a great deal of community support within the groups that know of us. And now this year, we've really been expanding our awareness, community awareness.
So where did the program start?
It started, actually, we've been headquartered in Santa Barbara the whole time.
Oh, really? Okay.
I should say that actually it was founded through the University of Santa Monica.
Okay.
Our co-founders were faculty there.
Oh.
And somebody, Rhonda Leland, who's now on our staff, sent a letter to the university requesting that there be some kind of rehabilitative program that would be conducted in her institute. She was incarcerated at the time.
Oh, she was incarcerated
that's
at the
correct.
time she sent the letter.
That's correct.
Okay.
And so we responded to her invitation affirmatively, and we went into the institution at Valley State Prison. At the time, it was Valley State Prison for women. Now it's for men, and across the street from that institution is the women's facility. So Valley State Prison for women, that was where our very first program took place almost 21 years ago.
Wow.
In response to Rhonda Leland's letter. So we're headquartered in Santa Barbara, but the initial seed of our entire organization was through the University of Santa Monica.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And now you've branched out and you've got all kinds of other facilities wanting you to come there.
Yes, believe it or not, we have our programs, some form of our programs in every state prison across the entire state of California.
That's a lot.
Yes, we were able to accomplish that through our correspondence program.
Wait, what does that mean, your correspondence program?
We have 3 types of programming at this moment, and we're actually working on additional program elements to add to our program mix. But the current 3 are in-person workshops.
Okay.
Group classes, we call them Individuals Achieving Greatness classes, IAG groups. And the third area is our correspondence program, which enables us to work with participants actually anywhere in the country. It's done by mail. So we send a curriculum in, and we send them growth work, which is our term for homework.
Electronically? Electronic mail? No.
No, not electronically.
Hard
It
copy
must be
mail.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. And so the correspondence program is now serving every single state prison in California.
That's great. And you've been at it for 21 years. Still, that's a big accomplishment.
Mhm.
All right. So tell us more about the the curriculum or what's impressed you. You've been
Yes.
executive director now for what, a couple of years?
Actually, I'm relatively new. I've been here for, it's since early August of 2023. And what is it now? It's October, so that would
Okay.
mean 14 months. I've been here for 14 months.
Okay. So what drew you in? What surprised you once you became executive director?
Yes, great question. Well, during the interview process, Um, I- at this point in my career, I've compiled a list in my mind of what I deem to be pointers or signs of a healthy or an unhealthy culture, organizational culture. And I kept seeing all these positive signs that this organization was operating under a very healthy, compelling culture. And so during the interview process, that's what kept drawing me in and my interest in.
Interesting.
Turns out, turns out that our culture is so open-hearted on every level. I've never been part of an organization that operates quite in that way. And it's very unique because professional boundaries are respected and they are observed. And yet at the same time, there's a very open-hearted relational element to our community. And that includes when you go to a program, you'll see that extends all the way to our participants.
Oh,
When you're at a program, we're enveloped by what's difficult to define in words other than perhaps a field of love that you can feel. You can feel it when you're there. You feel the joy and you see it in the faces of the participants, in the faces of the volunteers. That joy extends to the board level, to the staff level, to the volunteers, to the participants. So that's one of the things I've been, I mean, you wouldn't expect that to be the case in a prison.
no,
So
you wouldn't.
It's quite extraordinary to have had the opportunity to observe that.
Wow. And so, well, the initial seed of that culture, don't you think it had to come from the founders?
I do. Yes, absolutely. I do. They're very warm and very open-hearted people. And they're good at selection. They're good at selecting people who align with that culture, with that guiding philosophy that we are all part of one body of humanity.
Yeah.
And on some level, we share the same pains. We share this, I mean, not exactly the same, but the same themes, the same
Sure.
archetypical
Uh-huh.
themes. And with that is a sense of compassion, like we see ourselves in one another. I think that the people who get involved with us tend to align with that philosophy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, interesting about this organizational culture idea, the idea of you feeling that joy
Yes.
in the, and that's what drew you. Not so much even exactly what they were doing. Of course, now you embrace that, but at the time it was the joy that you felt. And, Joanne was talking about how the concept of reflecting she didn't call it that. I forget what she called it, neuron something or other.
Yes.
That
Mirror
that we
neuron?
reflect each other. And so when you're there, your volunteers are there, the inmates feel that joy and reflect that joy. Is that what I hear you saying?
That's correct. Yes, there is a space held for that, and I think the term might be mirror neurons.
That's it. That's what she said. Yeah.
Yes. So that's correct. It's palpable and it spreads like wildfire when you're there, and you can hear it in the participants' voices. I mean, we have participant after participant on site standing up, raising their hand to share their story of transformation through our programs and the impact that they've had on their lives. It's fairly moving when you're there.
Wow. So, okay, we have about a minute left.
Sure.
What else would you like our audience, our listeners, to know about Freedom to Choose?
Well, we welcome new volunteers all the time. So if you go to our website at freedomtochooseproject.org, there's an easy button to press at the top right of the screen that says volunteer.
Oh, that's good.
Right. And so you can submit an interest application. If you're drawn to learning more about our programs and our organization, our future plans, please reach out to us. You can find the contact form on our website or just contact me at Forrest with 2 R's at freedomtochooseproject.org.
Great.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for your great work. And So glad that you were drawn to the joy.
Thank you.
And thanks for sharing that with our audience and our listeners today.
Sure thing. Thank you so much, Cinder.
And thank you for joining us on 805 Focus, and we'll see you next time.